In this video, we print this welcome to the world of C# using program, and we display it as a message box. So that when I run this and click the welcome, it will display welcome to the world of C# as a message box, and we can now change this. I'm going to double click the button control named button1. We can change the name here, the programming name from button1 here to, let's call it welcome button. Now scroll down to data section, to design section, and then change the programming name. This is the programming name, and this is just value, text, the name of the text, just the name on it. Well, if you want to control it programmatically, you will need to use the programming name. So I'm going to change the name. Now the whole show here is that the name must not start with a number, and there must not be a space in between. So if you want to write something like welcome button, you can write it like this: welcome underscore btn, that is button for short, or you can write it in full, button. There must not be a space in between. If there is a space in between, I press enter, there will be a problem here. Property valid is not valid. The property value is not valid. Now next, if I will start with maybe 56 welcome button and press OK, the same problem. Now, one of the best way to give you control a name is by using an Hungarian style of writing, which is you can start it by this welcome and capitalize or use the uppercase for the next to differentiate the first word, the first word from second, from the other. So you can write something like this: welcome underscore, capitalize the first letter, then btn, press enter. Now that I have the name of this as welcome button, I can double click to write code inside this button control, and we make this will automatically control the welcome button and everything. Now double click the welcome button to go to the code behind. Now with the code behind, you can now write application. You can now write code to interact with the form1 design. You can also change the form name from form1 to, let's change this form from form1 to welcome to C#. So we go to the design view. Here we go, design. Here we go, design, and then change the name, that is the programming name, from welcome. From form1 to welcome page. Let's use welcome page. Notice there must not be a space in between, and press enter to have that, and save your code. You can change it. This one is the name here from one is quite different from, so this is the programming name, and though we still have from one, you can change it from here too. So I'm gonna do that by default, and double click the button control to have my code behind. And with the code behind, now we now have the form1.cs design. This is design part, and this is the code part, the code behind the design view. The next thing we're going to do now is to write a program that when I click the button, as you can see now, the welcome button underscore click. The meaning of this now is when I want to perform an action, that is when this button is clicked, do something for me. Now let's go back to the design view and click and select our control view. Here we have, you can show these are normal properties. These are normal properties for the button. You can also select events. With the event selected, that is when I click this, the click event shows that when I roll over my mouse on it, when I roll over my mouse on the button and click, do something for me. You have lots of actions here, like mouse capture, like mouse click, like when I drag, or when I drag enter, when I drag and leave, when I drag over, when I enter the button control, when I leave the button control, do something for me. When I validate, do something for me. When the key is pressed, do something for me. when a key press is up, do something for me, a lot more. We're going to be dealing with a lot of these properties later on in this course. Next, we'll go to form.cs or welcome.cs. We're going to write something like message box. Now let me explain this. Now we have a suggestion box, and with Microsoft C# it's called IntelliSense. With this IntelliSense will tell you what do you want to write. Do you want to write something like this? We suggest what you are planning to write, just like in Google if you are searching for something in Google. So the IntelliSense will make it a lot easier for you to write your code. So you don't need to memorize anything or cram your code. The IntelliSense is there to help you, to guide you, and to write the code for you. So I'm going to select message box. Then with the message box, I want you to show something for me. So I'll use the dot sign. Dots. Now there are three things we can do with the message box. Now I can equals it, I can reference equals, and show. I'm going to use the show properties. That is the show property to show something. With the show property, I want you to show something like welcome to the world of C#. Here we go. Save. So you can click save or save all to save your project. And here, let me explain the code before we test the code. There is no error now. Let me explain the whole. Now from here we have the using statements. Now with this using system Windows, that is, our form rely or depend solely on already written code like Windows that you didn't write by yourself. So the C# will reference Windows form, that is this entire form, and we have text. That's why C# will be able to display text. Drawing will be able to display something like this, and the form itself, and collection generic component. We're going to be dealing with a lot of many of these. We have data generated for you if you want to deal with database. Now with the namespace, this is the name of the project, which is C# tutorial 1, and we have the partial class. The partial class for this, which is welcome page, as we named the form1.cs. We changed the properties from. Let's go to the design view and let me do that for you. We have the property. We change the property for this form to welcome page. Here, let's go to the properties here, not the event. We have the properties for design. Here we go, welcome page. So that's what we are saying here. The web page, that is the web page, and this web page is actually inheriting its properties, the form, the whole form, already written code by Microsoft Visual Studio. We learn a lot of this later on in this course. And reference, that's like inheriting some of these properties or all from this form. And with this selected, you can now, with the public and welcome page, that is, with this we initialize the component. Don't worry about this, you get it. So I'll go to the property welcome button dot click. That is, when I click the button, do something for me. Now the meaning of this is that when I click the button, show me a message called welcome to the world of C#. Oops, go here. Next, now let's debug our code and see how it will look like. Now with this selected, I can click the maximize button to maximize my page. I can minimize it. Now if I click the message box, the button, I now have a code message called welcome to the world of C#, and then click OK to cancel it. One more time, welcome to the world of C#, welcome to the world of C#. Now let me explain something here. Forgetting one of the delimiters of a multiple line comment is a syntax error. For instance, if I didn't put semicolon here at the end of the code, there will be a syntax error. And if we go over it now, we have the Microsoft Visual Studio will tell you that something is missing here. You should put a semicolon. The way you use full stop to terminate or to end a sentence in English language, the same way you use semicolon to end declaration or statement in C sharp. Also, the meaning of these braces, the begin and end braces, shows that the braces is this mean begin and end. So everything that will be here, everything that's inside this braces will be treated as click event. The begin and end must be there. If there is no end, then your code will not run. So we need to put the end tag, end braces. This is the begin and end. Also, we have the begin and end for the class. I will explain class later on. The public, the method, and space. Next, without the system.windows form, our program cannot run because a lot of properties like message bus will not run. Now, the system.windows form namespace contains many classes that help C# programmers define graphical user interface for their applications. The graphical user interface component facilitates both data entry by the user and the formatting or presenting of the data output to the user. In the next video, we'll advance from welcome to the world of C# and add like 2 integers, 3 integers together.